What's good, y'all? My name is Arion. I go by Air. I am a producer. Most of y'all who are probably in this video already know that, but as you can see, it's a video. You can see me. This is not just my screen as I had been doing some of my other videos with the whole Tide project thing I got going on. This is like the next iteration of that. I want to do some more long form stuff. So today we're going to keep it nice and simple. We're just going to go through a track. I'll show you the track that I sampled, and we'll just kind of talk through what I did to it, how I ended up with the track that I got. And then, in some other videos, we'll start from scratch. We'll pick a song, sample it from the beginning, and just go through the whole thing. I won't chop anything at all. You'll see exactly what I'm doing. So right now you got full screen right now, but in a second I'm going to switch views. You'll be able to see me in the corner. You'll see my hands in the right corner, and then I need to start screen recording like right now because I forgot last time. All right, so I got the screen recording going. Let's switch over to Spotify and find out which track we're actually sampling. Let's go. All right, and we back. You can see here I got my track pulled up, screen recordings going. Should be synced up. We should be synced up. Hopefully it will be. And I'm getting used to this view and everything. This is all new, so I apologize if I move my hand. That's why we'll have the screen recording in the middle. But I'll try to keep my hand steady. I also have like this webcam pointing here with the mic right in front of me, so gotta be careful how I move my hands. But anyway, you can see the track is called Back to Your Place by October London. Let's get into it. Shout out to Henny the Business. He put us on to this in his Patreon chat. I don't know if we have a name for that chat, but anyway, he put me onto this track and it was dope, so I wanted to sample it. I wanted this to be the first track that we did in like the live form stuff, so let's take a listen. I believe the first section that I grabbed was from right here.
Clock on your walls is ticking, so let me give you what you've been missing. So she said, take me, oh, take me back. Oh, baby, take me back to your place.
This man, I believe the album is called The Rebirth of Marvin or something. This man knows his lane. He's in it. It's crazy. Here's the second part that I grabbed.
I've been waiting, baby, waiting for a long time, waiting on you.
That's it. Let's pop over into Koala and see what we got. All right, so we heard those first two chops that I grabbed. Those are going to be the first and second samples right here. Let's take a listen.
He said, take me, oh, take me back. Oh, baby, take me back to. I've been waiting, baby, waiting for a long time, waiting on.
All right, so those are my two chops. There's so much more that I could do with this, but for the sake of time and just jumping in, we're just gonna start with those two chops and see what we can come up with that. So just to kind of like dive in, where I would normally start with this is I'm just thinking about the sections of the tune that I have and like which parts of that I want to use, reuse, or manipulate or whatever. So if I look at this next sample, this third one here that I'm pointing at, it says other at the bottom. I think you should be able to see that in the screen recording. It says other. So that is just off the rip. I'm going to tell you that that's like the main chord progression of the tune, but let's figure out how I got that. So I think I'm already in. Yes, as you can see up here at the top, this says the weight example. This track is called The Weight, and I'm messing around in a resaved version called The Weight Example, so that way anything I mess with in here, I'm not gonna mess with the real track. It's good file management. So let's listen to this section and see how different it sounds, and we'll kind of rewind and see how we got there. It sounded almost kind of completely different, but let's see how we got there. So we can see here we got this, it's pitched up 2 semitones. You can see we got some attack and release going on. That's not really as big of a deal for how we got here, but you can see it's stretched. That's going to be important. It's stretched to 1 bar. And then of course you don't hear any drums, you don't hear any bass, and you don't hear any vocals. So what I did was I actually took this first sample. So you already know I pitched it up 2 semitones, but then I just went over here. I here and use the split stems feature to take out the drums, vocals, and bass. So other is basically anything that's not those first three things. It kind of gives you your melodic chordal type stuff for the most part, but depending on the what you're sampling, it might give you some other stuff. So I stripped out the other, and then, as we stated, I pitched it up and stretched it. But we can hear that in the original sample, it's in this this slow 3, or you could maybe say 6/8 time signature. So it's 2 3 2 3 1 2 3 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. And so for what I wanted to go for, I wanted it to have 4. 4 is a little bit more palatable. Most people are more familiar with 4. 4/4 time signature, I mean. But I kind of finessed and got both feels. I got the 3 feel and the 4 feel in the beat, which you'll hear shortly as well. So I just explained that this one is our main like chord progression right there. And so let's see what other stuff we have here. I think this next one you can probably see it says vocals, so that's some vocals. That doesn't quite tempo wise match up with, it doesn't feel like it does. It doesn't feel like it matches up with this, because that's 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. But we'll show you how that works in a second. So we got those vocals. Let's look at these vocals down here as well. We also got, that might be a little bit closer as far as time signature wise. So we'll see how that moves together. This I believe is a loop of the chord progression. Same thing. I just looped it and resampled it. Show you how to do that in another video. I think that's the most important stuff. I got this over here. This is some drums. It's just a splice loop. Nothing crazy going on there. This is also a splice loop for some extra percussion and texture. And then we have some stuff down here at the bottom, but we'll talk about that more in this video as we go on. So if you take a look at sample bank B, all of this stuff here, I was messing with the pitch. So these are just copies. As you can see, that's all that's really in here. This is just copies of all the stuff I just explained a second ago. That's just a copy of all that at a lower pitch. I just wanted to see what the track sounded like. So if our whole track is just based on those elements that I just stated, what's the track actually sound like? Well, let's go find out. What I normally do is so now we're in the sequence. Before we were messing around with samples up here. We were doing stuff, making sure the time signatures lined up. But from here, we're moving into the sequence view. So we can kind of start arranging our patterns or our basic patterns or whatever. So this one right here is how I got the loop. I basically just took that first note, A number 3, played it 4 times so we can get that loop. Super simple. And so what you're seeing here in these, where there's only one note, these are the vocals that I was like stretching. I'll put it in a sequence and then come back, like let that loop, and then I'll come back here. As you can see, this is 3 beats and 2 bars. That's why it has a different, slower feel. But I'll kind of stretch all that stuff, make sure that's right, and get all my basic patterns together in this first sequence bank of 8 sequences. And then once I come over here, I'll start actually arranging the song. And then of course you have even more room in Koala if you needed to do more stuff, or if you're going to do like a different section of the beat flip might happen over there. But anyway, I think that's pretty much everything. So let's just like take a listen and see where we ended up. Got our main loop. See, we got those slower vocals. It kind of gives us like almost like a drunk feel against that 4. Let's go.
I've been waiting, baby, waiting for a long time. I've been waiting, baby, waiting for a long time.
And we just vibing from here.
Waiting for a long time.
Now, remember these bottom pieces here. These section down here. Whoops.
Waiting for a long
My bad.
time.
The bottom section. What do we use that for? Let's take a listen.
I've been waiting, baby, waiting for a long time.
So that's pretty much that joint. That's pretty much the whole thing. For that bass stuff, I actually didn't do the bass in Koala, but also shout out to Henny. Put me on to this third party, I guess it's a synth. It's called King of Bass. You can do crazy stuff in King of Bass. I believe it's right here. King of Bass. Made that first part of that bass line there, but the second half, that ending part,
I've been waiting, baby, waiting for a long time.
this bass part, that is actually just my voice, because it was a little bit, that type of articulation in what I wanted for the bass was a little bit difficult to do. So I just sang it in and used Koala's effects to pitch it down. We'll discuss all those effects in another video, but I believe it's these two samples. So that's pretty much this joint, man.
Waiting for a long time.
That's it. That's this the kind of stuff we're gonna be doing. Like, I want to go more into depth on different effects and practices and theory stuff, how you can learn theory stuff, learn and use theory stuff in your production. If you enjoyed this video, like, comment, and subscribe. I believe that's what you're supposed to ask for at this point in the video. So I appreciate y'all. Like, rock with me. Peace.